Did you know that Case and Huff and Schlieder has been servicing customers in the tri-state area for nearly 100 years? As an independent insurance agency, they have the flexibility to find the right value for your business, farm, and personal insurance needs. Case and Huff and Schlieder is a locally owned agency. Their agents and support team are ready to help. Give them a call or find them on Facebook. Case and Huff and Schlieder, proud sponsor of the Muddy River News Business Spotlight.
Hi, welcome to the Business Spotlight, sponsored by Case & Huff and Schlieder. We're joined by Tracy Genenbacher of T-Force Advertising. Welcome.
Hi, Ron.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, advertising agency, that's the category, and there's many subcategories underneath that, right?
Yes.
So, first of all, why don't you explain what an advertising agency does these days?
Well, I do a lot of things, but for the most part, in a nutshell, I work with a client or a business closely to put a marketing plan together for them based on their goals and their budget. And from there, I do all their placement, their creative, whatever they need, from websites to business cards to koozie cups to we do a lot of digital marketing now for people. We do production, video production.
So do you handle, are you I don't want to say primarily, but you're a buffer from whoever signs on as a client to media?
Yes. So in other words, before, so the client works with me instead of meeting with you or meeting with somebody from WGM or Star Radio.
Is there a line, though, where what if it's somebody who requests money for a charity or things along those lines? Are you the buffer for that also?
Yes. I tell my clients, it's whatever they want. It's their money. Mm-hmm. If they want to donate to a benefit or a charity or, a little kid selling an ad in a soccer program, go for it, But
so they handle that. They don't have to go through you for
some
that.
Some of them do. Some of them just call Tracy. She handles my budget. And at that point, I usually know what they want to do. I've worked with most of my clients for 18 years now. So sometimes when I call them, they're like, Tracy, and I'm like, well, they asked me to ask you. So
how did you get started in this?
I fell into it. My aunt is Mary Beth Knoll, and she had AdForce Advertising Agency. And years ago, it was right out of college, I was selling auto glass, and I saw the writing on the wall. That was changing with insurance companies, and she needed help. She was growing, and she's like, why don't you come work for me? So my husband and I were planning on having a family. And I married a Genenbacher, so they like to multiply.
Very much so.
So we have 4 children. I was able to stay home and work from home while growing my client list. And then after they were all in school, I started working full-time. And that list continued to grow mainly by word of mouth and the need for what we do for people.
What's interesting, though, is a lot of the people that are in your industry actually have a media background. They've sold radio or sold newspaper that you do not have that background.
I had no.
So does that give you do you feel that gives you a unique perspective then?
I feel like my perspective, a lot of what I do is service. And I waited tables for 12 years for my parents at their restaurant. And I also came from, a family-owned business where I have a heart for small locally owned businesses that I feel like I can help people. And no, I knew nothing about what I was doing. I was thrown into it, and I do feel like I had a great mentor. I was told she was the best in the industry back when I started, and so a lot of what I know I learned from her, and along the way. But it changes all the time, especially now with digital. So it's important to stay on top of what's latest and greatest. And my clients also pay me for that. So even years ago, before digital was popular, I would inform them and say, this is where it's going. This is what they're doing in other markets. Eventually you may want to consider adding this to your marketing mix. But I do feel that I never worked on commission all those years. So I never tried to sell somebody something they didn't need.
Right.
And I think that that's gone a long ways for me.
So multiple clients, multiple different industries and verticals and things along those lines. So it's not a cookie cutter for every client, right?
No.
So how much research is there into what those various verticals are doing and what they need to get the word out?
Well, it's important for me to find out what the client does and what their goals are, And there's so many options, and a lot of it boils down to budget. So, not everybody has the budget to do a TV, radio, digital mix. So my job is to determine what's going to be best and stretch those dollars the furthest. So we try to make, a small budget look big. You want that effect where I have a small client that came to me and said, Tracy, people come up to me and say, you must spend a bunch of money on advertising. And she really doesn't. It's just the placement and the way we do it that makes it look like she does. And so that's what I try to do for all my people, whether it be a $4,000 annual budget or a $400,000. It's just...
But it's got to be hard around here because we don't get the ratings reports like the Nielsen's and all that type of stuff that the larger markets get. So is it word of mouth? I mean, how do you determine
experience?
Where do you, or is it just, so it's basically just experience on where to put the
The main
dollars?
thing is just keep your name out there. Top of mind awareness, consistency is huge. You may not be able to do them all, but do one or two well. That's important.
How often do you, or how much do you look at demographic information, like male versus female, things along those lines?
It varies.
Varies on the client?
It does vary, yes. Age, for instance, like a Carl's shoes, if we're running a Birkenstock campaign over a dance coat, that's a completely different audience. Then we're geofencing the high school or the college for Birkenstocks, where Dansco, we would be fencing Blessing Hospital or QMG for the healthcare workers.
So let's talk about the fencing. So you've been in this close to 20 years. A lot has changed back when you started. I'm assuming there was a few radio stations in town, the newspaper, and a couple of TV stations.
Right.
Maybe cable.
Some, yes.
Now it's completely changed.
It has.
So first question is, how much time did you spend just figuring out the whole social media aspect?
Well, social media is just one part of the digital marketing. A lot of people say, when I ask them, are you doing any digital marketing? They say yes. And then when I find out what they're doing, they're just doing social media. And that's really...
So beyond social media, what is there, though?
Oh, my gosh. We've done TikTok campaigns, Snapchat. There's search engine marketing. There's digital audio, where you're on iHeart and Spotify rather than, your WTAD or...
Right.
Then, we do a lot of the streaming where basically if you're in a home and you're sitting on your sofa and you're watching the big screen and you're on your device and you're just sitting there enjoying the show, but you realize your couch is kind of uncomfortable. So you're like, you know what, maybe I should look into getting a new couch. So we'll use Harvey's, for example. One of my clients, they're great, they're a sponsor here. So, they're searching for sofas. We're doing streaming advertising for Harvey's. So now the Wi-Fi all talks to each other in your home. So now we're serving ads on the big screen, Harvey's ads, to someone based on their real-time search.
Okay, so how do you drill down specifically to that location or to that person?
It's all based on their...
There's magic behind the curtain.
There is. I could go on and on. But the cool thing about this is then, so let's say the weekend rolls around and they decide to go shopping for that couch or sofa. So we have Harvey's competitors fenced. And so if they take this cell phone into that store while they're shopping for that sofa.
A competitor?
Well, let's hope they just go to Harvey's since
I understand
they saw
that,
their ad.
yes.
But let's say they decide to go shopping for other furniture stores.
Correct.
And so we pick up on the fact that they're there, and then Harvey's ads will follow them when they leave.
Seriously.
Seriously. And the cool part about this...
On what, though? I mean, it just doesn't pop up on the phone, so if they go to YouTube or something
follows
like
them
that.
for 30 days, mobile ads. And then
Whatever they're looking at.
it's their IP address. So it picks up
Right.
that they're there. And then let's say they go into their social media. Well, Bonnie's looking for a sofa. Now they're in their social media. Now we have access to all their friends. And so now Patty is about the same age as Bonnie and lives in the same geographical area. So now we're going to serve ads, Harvey's ads, to Patty in hopes that maybe she would be looking for a couch.
Okay, so, that's all. Do you not feel Big Brother-ish at all?
Very much so.
I mean, is there a
These are
guilt
tracking
type?
devices.
But is there any sense of guilt that you're...
No,
I know that's your job. People are paying you to do this, but...
If we don't, their competitor will.
You're just
Eventually,
leveraging
get on the bus or be left in the dust. Originally, when I started talking to my clients about it, I've had people go like this.
Right.
Tracy, no way.
Right.
No way. And I respect that. I understood that. But again, part of my job was to inform them that this is where it's going. So people that did that years ago are now doing it.
Right.
And they see the big box stores doing it. You know, nationally they're doing it.
Right.
And
It's so blatantly obvious that if you look on, let's just use Amazon for an example, for something, the next time you're on anything, what you look for
follows you.
And
Yes.
it's just, so how hard was it to move some of your clients, again, from the traditional radio, TV, to this type of new mythology of advertising?
Well, that's, I think, where the trust comes in
Right.
at. You know, they trusted me with their TV and their radio and their other marketing plans before. And again, I was talking to them maybe years before they even did it. And some of my older clients were like, talk to my son about that.
Right,
It's over
right.
my head, you know. You know, and some of my clients, I'll put it together and I'll say, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, just do it. Just do it. Just stay within my budget and just do
yeah.
it. If you feel that it's the right thing for my business, then that's what I do. And then, you know, just because we plug them in, we make their marketing plan for 12 months doesn't mean we can't make changes. So I want to make sure my clients sleep at night and are not worried about, oh no, I overcommitted or I'm doing the wrong thing. You know, I'm an extension of their business to try to help them grow.
Is there a way to show ROI on what you're doing for the client? Or is it
Well-
just based on you sold X amount last year, now you're selling Y amount, hey, it's working? Or is there, but then you have the pandemic kind of messes everything up?
There's so many variables. You know, the weather goes in, the weather,
Right.
you know, there's so many things that come into play. I say, you know, the digital's nice because it has all the reporting. You know, back to that Harvey's, I could tell my clients X amount of people came from this competitor into your location within 30 days. That's nice to be able to do because I wasn't able to do that 10
With
years
radio
ago.
and TV
Right.
or all the other, right?
However, I tell them, all the reporting aside, the true measure is what's in the till at the end of the day.
Right, definitely,
That's really
yeah.
the true measure. But the people that have started doing it continue to do it. I mean, they see you have to reach people where they're at. And people aren't rushing home to catch the 6 p.m. news anymore. You know, it's different. It's a different time. It's a different world. I mean, as a busy working mother, and if I'm not on the bleachers, I don't have time to catch the
Right,
news.
right.
I find my information elsewhere. So you have to cater to people like me who are too busy to sit down and
Right.
in front of the screen.
Yeah.
Or-
So a woman owning a business, do you find the challenges that you run into different than what a man may run into?
I don't think so.
You haven't run into that at all?
No, I don't. You know, I've had a lot of support from my clients, people that have been in business for many years. A lot of support from my mentors. Mary Beth has been huge. I don't feel that way at all. No, I think it's a different time now too. You know, I just do the best I can, and I treat others the way I want to be treated. And it's I am blessed to have the best clients. I love my people.
Representing nearly 20 A-rated insurance providers, Case & Huff & Schlieder caters to most any type of insurance. Business, farm, home, auto, and health for nearly 100 years. Their team of experienced professionals is second to none in providing coverage for your insurance needs. Case & Huff & Schlieder will find the most cost-effective solution to your business challenges, and with their experienced agents, they know how to navigate the insurance markets. 100 years, an agency built on service, no matter what side of the river you call home. Give them a call today or find them on Facebook. Case & Huff & Schlieder, peace of mind since 1923.